A few weeks ago, I talked about the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Trilogy because Rockstar decided to go into it randomly censoring content like Confederate flags and neon signs because they said the content could be seen as offensive and they wanted to tone things down a bit to make the games more appealing to modern audiences, which of course is an absolute garbage reason to tone down a franchise that became iconic because of its offensive content. But there are bigger worries about this collection now because it's being eaten alive on Metacritic and social media because of how terrible the quality is. I have a couple of different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month or supporting via memberships. All of the links are in the description, and of course, I do really appreciate all of the support. So I'm going to start off with this Forbes article, and it says Rockstar's GTA Trilogy is getting eaten alive on Metacritic. I'm not that surprised to hear that another type of remastered trilogy came out, and it was an absolute disaster. It seems to be a running theme now. But it says few games managed to piss everybody off as thoroughly as Rockstar's latest release. Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy Definitive Edition was supposed to be a masterful celebration of three fantastic games, GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, but instead we have a Cyberpunk 2077 level fiasco on our hands. A lot of people were really excited about this trilogy. These are some great games that have great content. A lot of people were really excited to see new, refreshed, remastered graphics, maybe some changes to bugs and glitches, but unfortunately the quality isn't there and we ended up getting bottom of the barrel content. The remastered games are a mess. The PC version was actually removed from sale on the Rockstar game launcher due to its myriad of issues, including the controversial hot coffee code. It says almost no critics have reviewed the trilogy yet, and it's not easy to play through 3 games, and as far as I can tell, early review copies were not provided, though review copies did go out at launch. That's always kind of suspicious when a company doesn't send anyone any sort of early review copies, especially a company that has in the past. Rockstar has provided early copies of previous games, especially games that a lot of people are really excited for, so it's really odd that they didn't this time around, but it says that's never a great sign. What we have to go off of instead are user reviews on Metacritic, and unfortunately there are none on Steam since the PC version is exclusive to the Rockstar Games launcher. We've all praised Rockstar at some point since they weren't a woke, politically correct company. They always push the boundaries with their games, even if they knew it would cause controversy, and it was really disappointing to hear that they were going to start dialing themselves back because they didn't want to offend people with their games. And I didn't buy this collection because of the censorship, and I'm glad I didn't because it looks like a pile of garbage right now. I've seen tons of screenshots on social media. A lot of people are voicing their unhappiness with this collection, and if I had purchased it, I probably would have refunded it by now, or at least tried, because there are people saying Rockstar isn't refunding users right now. But if we go over to Metacritic right now, the game is sitting at a 0.5 user score on the PC. Now, as it says, it's also on PlayStation 4, 5, Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and this is only based off of people rating it on the PC right now, but as the initial article says, these are all of the scores. On PC, it's a 0.6, and now it's actually a 0.5. On PlayStation 4, it's a 0.7. On PS5, it's a 0.9. On Xbox One, it's a 0.5. And on Xbox Series X, it's a 0.5. So they are all under 1 right now. Now, if we were talking about just 1 or 2 characters that didn't look right, maybe their proportions looked off, people would understand and say, okay, just fix it in the future. But we are talking about so many different instances of bugs, of glitches, of problems. I mean, this looks terrible. I don't understand how they thought that they could release this. I truly don't. There's a certain level of quality that people expect in 2021, especially from a $60 remaster collection. These screenshots look like jokes, but they're not. These are real screenshots from the game. So let's head on over to Metacritic and read just a couple of these reviews. As it says, there's 114 positives, 44 mixed, and 3,312 negatives. People are saying things like, well done, Rockstar. This is how the remaster should be done. You are equal to the best Blizzard in your case. People are comparing Rockstar to Blizzard, which actually hurts a little bit because Rockstar, again, has been such a great company in the past. They've done a lot that fans wanted. They haven't self-censored themselves, but now they're starting to change their ways. They're starting to change the way they're viewing their titles. And with this, they came out with bottom of the barrel, awful content. Someone gave it a 0 and said, terrible addition by Rockstar, basically the old game with some filters and changed controls being sold at full price, PC version full of bugs and doesn't offer anything new. If you really want to buy, wait for a huge discount and it's still expensive. This is a big problem. The fact that this is a $60 full-priced game, and I understand there are 3 titles in this collection, but the quality just isn't there. It's not like it's a $25 or $30 collection that just kind of says, hey, we slightly remastered the graphics, we changed a couple of things around, fixed some bugs. No, they're charging $60 whole, so of course people want the best quality they can get. People are saying things like trash, trash, trash. I just can't believe such a horrible game. It's really, really bad. Somebody said, I can't even launch the game thanks to the Rockstar launcher. Don't even get me started on the quality of the game. It is clear to me that Rockstar put the bare minimum effort into this quote-unquote remaster and doesn't care that much for it. It's just a quick cash grab for them. Someone gave it a 1. Wow, the highest score we've seen so far. The game is just badly ported versions of older games with new lighting systems. Even the bugs that were accepted in 2001 and shouldn't be accepted nowadays have been ported. And to add salt to the wound, the games have crashed the Rockstar launcher and the games have been pulled from the storefront. Now let's scroll up and go maybe to the Xbox Series X version. Oh no, it's a 0.5, and there's actually 4 critic scores on this one, and it's sitting at a 59, but going to the user score, 645 negatives, 23 positives. Someone gave it a 0 and said, the worst remaster I've ever seen, trash remaster from Trash Grove Street Games. People are just calling it trash, saying they banned mods, removed original games from the stores, cut out many music tracks. This just isn't the content that everyone wanted. I always try to give companies multiple chances, and Rockstar has created some amazing games and some great content over the years, and not all of their launches have been disasters like this situation, but at the same time, they've pledged to be more politically correct and to, try to offend people less, and that's not what Rockstar has always been about, in my opinion. They've always been about making the content they want, not being apologetic, and just continuing their company in a positive direction, and it's worked for them up until now. I definitely think that the censorship is a big issue in this collection, and obviously the quality is a giant problem here, and I understand completely why people are so upset over this disaster. Now, this situation gets even worse because players are demanding refunds for the trilogy, but Rockstar is refusing to give anyone their money back. It says things are looking bad for Rockstar at the moment with the most recent release of the GTA trilogy. Players are very upset with how the product turned out and are now demanding refunds. It says that it's not living up to the name. Rockstar Games is known to have well-polished games, and this is why players always bet their money on their titles, and I agree, Rockstar has always had a certain level of quality to their titles. They've always pushed the boundaries. They've always been pretty good, but unfortunately, we're seeing a shift in that. in their quality, in the way that they act, in their mentality. It says, granted, the game was developed by Grove Street Games, but the results show a lack of oversight. It is their job to take care of the project still, even if they're not directly doing it. They still should be looking out for their products, looking out for their consumers. And it says, because of the current situation, these disappointed fans now want refunds. Of course, if I had purchased this, I would be demanding a refund as well. I would say, I want my money back. I know a lot of people are usually hesitant. They always say, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to give it a chance. Maybe in a couple weeks they'll fix it with patches. It's just not worth it to wait because usually these companies don't fix the things that players want. It says the idea of playing the first 3 PS2 Grand Theft Auto games naturally sounds exciting, especially with nostalgia attached to it. Sad to say, despite the trilogy being remastered versions, it doesn't necessarily mean that the games are better now. It says this wouldn't be the first time in gaming history that players demanded refunds, and of course it brings up Cyberpunk 2077. A lot of people were really disappointed with Cyberpunk. I know I was as well, but I still played through it. I still gave it a chance, and they have done a lot of work to it. They have, over the past year, fixed a lot of the bugs, the glitches, the problems that people had, but unfortunately its launch didn't go as smoothly as possible, and there were tons of people demanding refunds. But it says that this is exactly why GTA players are expecting to receive refunds. However, Rockstar is assuring players that they are currently working on fixes which they plan to release soon, and requests for refunds are also being met with assurances that the GTA Trilogy will be returned to the storefront soon, instead of being updated on the status of their refund. So of course, when players are sending in their messages saying, hey, I would like a refund for this product, they're saying, no, you know what, it'll be fixed soon, we're going to be working on it soon, instead of saying, yes, 100%, you are allowed to get a refund, you deserve to get a refund if you're not satisfied with the product. And that's a big issue as well. Companies should instantly offer refunds to people that want the refunds. People don't just ask for them lightly a lot of the time, and in this case, of course, there are probably thousands upon thousands of people who are asking for refunds, submitting refund requests, and now apparently Rockstar doesn't really want to. They're just trying to say, oh, it'll be fine in a couple of weeks, we're gonna fix it, because they want to keep people's money. Like I mentioned, I personally didn't purchase this trilogy. If I want to play games like San Andreas, I'll go back and play my original copies, and maybe one day they'll end up fixing this trilogy, and this definitive edition will be absolutely amazing, and the quality will be stunning. But right now, the quality is an absolute joke, and this whole launch has been a disaster. But that's all that I really had to talk about in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.